from. Welcome back to Henry LCR YouTube channel. And just in case you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, kindly consider subscribing, because here we're always going to have a very candid conversation and we're going to be talking about Africa in general and everything else that I have to talk about. May it be global, may it be national, anything that is of public interest. Now, I have attached those few clips that I managed to take from at least two videos that I was watching, because I'm doing really a lot of research trying to identify what they see and what they say about us, and how that perspective, how that image has been ruining the reputation of African people. For instance, when someone comes and visits all countries, or at least several countries here in Africa, like the one there, talking about being scammed, etc., they come to the African continent, a very beautiful continent. They come here for content. They do not come here to the continent, they come here for content. And then they don't only come here, when they're traveling here, they not only come here for content, they come here with a theme in mind. They have been taught Africa is full of scammers, Africa is poor, uneducated, no shelters, all those things. And that's why their content surrounds around the villages and within slums, in rural areas and around slums where it's less developed compared to other parts of the African continent. That's what they want the world to see. And you understand one thing, majority of their subscribers are Caucasians, are in Europe, in America, and all those other countries. So when they come here, they have a theme. They want to extend that perspective about Africa. And the reality is, Africa does have that part. But how comes they don't want to highlight the other good side of Africa? Because we've seen Africa is on the development that's taking place in Africa right now is on steroid. You go to a country like Kenya, in Nairobi, Westlands, and all those areas. You go to a country like Ethiopia, you go to a country like Ghana. There's a lot of development that is taking place in those places. Yes, we have our shortfalls. Yes, we have our disadvantages and weaknesses here and there. That one happens all the time. No country is perfect. But my question and my problem is, how comes these people, when they come to visit, the Caucasians, the Asians, the Arabs, when they come to visit Africa, they love to portray Africa from a very negative perspective. They want to show people seated somewhere in a slum and taking their food from that place. But they do not want to visit the places that are very, very developed, because we have a lot of places that are developed. And that's why it hurts me sometimes to see people attacking somebody like Wode Maya, somebody who has tried to rewrite our story, because we own this continent. We want to rewrite our own story. We want to tell our own story from a realistic perspective. We do not want our story to be told from somebody else's perspective. And mark you, when these people are coming here and telling the African story from a very different angle, they do not want to highlight one of the things that has really made Africa to be where it is. For instance, when you think about DRC Congo, even you, when you're watching me, when you hear the term DRC Congo, people don't want to see that country as very fertile. It has a very fertile land. You go and check on the Google Maps. That country is green. Go and check on your Google Maps. When you think about the sub-Saharan part of Africa, that part of Africa is green. which tells you one thing: it's very, very fertile. DRC Congo is very, very fertile. But the image that they want us to say is that DRC Congo is full of forests. And mark you, DRC Congo is one of the largest countries when you talk about volume square, in terms of square meters, in terms of space. DRC Congo is one of the largest countries in the world. And as large as it is, sometimes only a very small province will be having those moments. But they fail to understand their involvement in Africa, especially during the prehistoric period, during the colonial period. They contributed a lot to destabilizing Africa. They contributed a lot to dividing Africa in tribes, because initially we used to live as one unit. Africa was very peaceful. Africa was full of love. The people understand. We had standards, we had values. They came, they robbed us our values. And now they also want to come and rewrite and tell our story. Now those are the things I do not agree with. And I can never agree with. Because we have somebody like Wode Maya. At least he's really, really doing a lot. And he has done a lot. Like if you go and check the previous videos that he did like 2 months ago while he was in Ethiopia, and then you check how Speed portrayed Africa, you'll now start realizing that the story you've been fed all along, the story the mainstream media and the story the Caucasians on this space have been spreading is all full of bullcrap. We need to tell the story of our own continent. And by the way, and I would really encourage a lot more people to come up and portray Africa from that angle. Because when these people come, they don't care. They don't really care. They will do anything to portray Africa from a very negative perspective. And anytime they're coming to Africa, there's always something they want to gain from Africa. Think about it. Even the ones who come in the name that they're coming for charity and all those things, when they come, they want donations to be spent. They understand that when they ask, if I'm Caucasian and I asked for donations from those countries, from those charity organizations will send those donations to me. If I'm Caucasian, I want you to imagine that. They will send those donations to me. Then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 40% of those donations to address the issue. The 60% that remains is mine. So that's why you find there are so many hotels like here in Africa or like here in Kenya. There's so many hotels I know they were built courtesy of donations. We have donations that are meant to secure these endangered species. So you go to some lodge. There are several lodges I know. In a place called Meru, there's one. In Samburu, there's another one. Here in Africa, here in Kenya, those lodges were developed courtesy of donations. It's only that I'm not getting that actual name, but there are those charity organizations that are focused on wildlife preservation and all those things. Now, these people will use that money. They develop the area, which is okay, because at the end of the day, there's tourism coming, and there are tourists coming to the country. And when tourists come, we as a country are going to earn some money. But I need you to be very, very keen on what I'm going to say next. You end up finding that majority of these hotels, their clientele is not even the original Kenyans. It's not even the people living in that country. Majority, 90% of their clientele is not even Africans. It is Caucasians from those countries. It amazes me how in a country like South Africa, when you think about the wildlife there, because if you're talking about wildlife, you go to the South African countries, we have Botswana, we have South Africa, and then you come to the East African countries, we have Kenya, we have Uganda and Tanzania. How comes if you check on YouTube, you realize that these people are given licenses to go hunting. They will come to Africa to hunt. And do you remember the story of a guy, of the Caucasian man that was killed by a buffalo? I don't know whether it was in Kenya or Uganda. You're gonna have again to confirm that. He was killed by a buffalo. That guy, and he's a millionaire. He was a millionaire by the time of his passing. But he had a license to come and hunt. Imagine, you are traveling all the way from the United States to come and hunt here in Africa. While all along, you people, you're preaching about um, preservation of these endangered species. You don't want the wildlife to be interfered with, yet they are the same people who are coming here to destabilize the wildlife here in Africa. So that level of hypocrisy is the one that is making somebody like Wode Maya and all other like-minded individuals who have been given a responsibility by God, I believe, and who have a large following to do what they do. To go out there and tell the African story the way it's supposed to be told. Because all along, the African story has been told from somebody else's perspective. And I needed you to watch the clips I attached here, because those clips that I attached are a constant reminder that when they come and when we sit down and refuse to tell our story as Africans, someone is going to come here and tell the story in their perspective. And guess what? Perception is reality. Perception is reality. What you perceive to be true, it ends up becoming true. There are countries, for instance, I've never visited. And I need us to talk. I need us to have a very, very mature and real conversation here. There are countries I have never visited. Like now, if you tell me about countries like Qatar, Dubai, those Gulf countries, if you ask me to say something about those countries and I've never been there, first of all, say that they are dominated by Muslims and they are very strict with their rules, and they have a certain type of dressing code, etc. That's the image that has been sold to us. And they are rich. When you talk about Dubai, I've never been there. I don't think I'm interested because it's not my kind of vibe. Though if I had the chance to, I would visit to get my own understanding of the place. But the image that has been sold is that it's a rich destination. There are so many business opportunities, among other things. Now, when you think about India, what comes in your mind? Because there are three things that I know, and I was thinking about it today. Think about how India has been portrayed. First of all, there's the positive side and there's the negative side, which is a good thing when somebody is balanced. When I think about India, for instance, I'll tell you for sure, these people have advanced in medical care. People travel from different parts of the world to seek medical care in India. However, it's true, India is full of scammers. India is one of the countries, or generally Asia. When you think about Asia and technology, it's one of the continents that has really tried to advance in technology. Now, India being in Asia, it has really advanced in technology. So a lot of scammers come from India. It's not a surprise. That's another label that has been given to that country. Now, let's talk about hygiene. Now, India is considered to be one of the most unhygienic places here in the world. And where do I get this information? It's all over here on YouTube. I said it in one of the videos I did last time that you cannot afford to be ignorant in 2026. A lot of information is there. It's plain at your own disposal. So no one can afford to be that ignorant. So if I'm talking about India, it's because I've seen that information. I've never been to that country. And I have said they have two advantages. They have really advanced when it comes to medicine. When it comes to the practice of medicine, they have really advanced. When it comes to technology, they have really advanced. There are cars that are being produced in India. Majority of we have seen Indian prospects and Indian professionals in the United States and other parts of the world where they are working in the tech companies in Silicon Valley. You'll find a lot of Indian CEOs. Why? Because it's one of their identity. On the flip side though, their street food, the way it's portrayed like, these guys are just very unhygienic. The street food in India, the way they prepare it, the way they serve it is just unhygienic. And that's not even me trying to plunder that country's reputation. No, it's a fact. That's information that is here on YouTube. Nobody can come and tell me, oh, why are you being so salty about that country? It's factual. It's here on the YouTube. All you need to go is just Google Indian street food and you'll see a lot. The other thing is scamming. There's so many, their accent can even tell you. Actually, there's a time, I don't know, there's the FBI unit, I don't know which governing body that traveled all the way from the United States to India to get those scammers. And they have their call centers. There is also another YouTube channel here that focuses on scamming the scammers. They even have cameras, they even know some of the names of these Indian scammers. But what I'm talking about is the image. When you talk about India, that's the image. When you talk about China, the first thing that comes in your mind, what comes in your mind? When you talk about China, for instance, what comes in your mind? You think about socialism, you think about people being deprived their human rights. That's the story that we are told. Forced labor, underpaid labor. Those are the things that are portrayed. When you think about a country like Pakistan, when you think a country like Somalia, when you think about Afghanistan, when you think about Iraq, when you think about Iran, when you think about Syria, when you think about those Yemen, what is the first thing that comes in your mind? If you want to travel to Asia, because they're in Asia, if you think about Iraq, if you think about Iran, if you think about Pakistan, if you think about Afghanistan, if someone mentions those countries to you, what is the first thing that comes in your mind? And I think this is the question I should have started with when I was starting this video. If you think about Afghanistan, if you think about Iraq, if you think about Palestine today, if you think about Somalia, if you think about Yemen, what comes in your mind first? And whatever is coming in your mind, that's what I need you to think about when they think about Africa. Do you see what you thought about those countries? That's the same thing they think about when they think about Africa. The way you think you can travel to those countries because of various reasons. When you think about things that are happening in some parts of Africa, Sudan, etc., DRC, Congo, some parts, that's what they portray about Africa. So the way you thought about Pakistan, the way you thought about Afghanistan, the way you thought about Iraq is the same thing That's how they think about Africa. And guess what? It's because that's what is portrayed by the mainstream media. It's because that's what's portrayed when the Caucasians come to visit Africa. And then we become so stupid that we also want to support them when they go filming the slums. We also want to go and start filming the slums. Yet we have a super highway. You can go and record a video. Just if you're traveling, if you're driving, you can have a camera here capturing that road for those 3 hours. No potholes, very good scenery. We have so many scenic roads in our African roads. Why don't you record those scenic roads and upload that video? Roads in Africa. When you go to these places that are so developed, why don't you go take those videos and just type there the Africa they don't want you to see? Because we have two types of Africa. They love focusing on that part that is full of slums, illiteracy, etc. That's what they love to do. And even when they want to portray something positive, like when they come to the Masai Mara, they want to come interact with the Maasais. The good thing is that at least with the Maasais, they are a bit organized with how they do their things. So as much as they'll come for content in Masai Mara, and when they're interacting with the Maasais, at the end of the day, even the community benefits. Because in another video, I'll be discussing how these cultural and these traditional groups here in Africa, they really to show at least some of the traditions that have not yet been erased, even though they're at a risk of becoming extinct. They at least try to portray some part of us as Africans, where we are not bothered by material possession. We are not interested with the Ferraris, Lambos, and Maserati, Rolls Royce, Range. What else am I missing? Bugatti, Aston Martin. What other brands am I missing? This high-profile Audi, Mercedes, Volkswagen. They are not interested with those brands when it comes to fashion. Chanel, Hermes, Alexander McQueen, Gucci. Which other? Remind me, mention them. Louis Vuitton. They're not interested. Tom Ford, not interested with those things. They're just living life a day by day, and they are living cohesively with the environment. So, you guys, when we talk about our story, when we talk about our African continent, let us be very conscious so that we can portray ourselves the way we ought to portray ourselves. How comes they forget to say that Africans are the most hardworking people? Have you guys seen Africans in Africa working? Have you seen an African farmer farming? We are so gifted naturally. Our genes. You guys, you can at least talk about our gene. How comes we rarely talk about the African gene being the most dominant gene globally? You will not find a gene like the African gene, like the black gene. And when I talk about African gene, I'm not just talking about Africans. I'm talking about every person with that African ancestry. And here I would love to use the controversial one drop rule. And this one, the controversial one drop rule by Jim Crow, it was used during slavery. And the one drop rule meant that if, let's assume, as much as you would be as white, as Caucasian as you can be, but your greatest of the greatest grandfather was black. The fact that your greatest grandfather was black, then it doesn't matter how Caucasian you look, you are black, as long as there's that drop of blackness in you, then you are black. Now, using that rule, I would say as long as you have some parts and you are connected to the African ancestry bloodstream, then you have a dominant gene and you ought to be proud of yourself because you are meant and you are created to dominate the world. We are not here to escort other people as they achieve whatever they want to achieve and using us for their own benefit. No, we are here now to dominate. This is the space where we have the freedom to dominate. We have the freedom to tell our story. Initially we did not have the resources, we did not own the media platforms, but now we have the advantage. You can just open a camera, sit down as long as you have internet and talk like I am doing. I'm just seated giving my thoughts and opinions about this topic, about our blackness. Because before, I'm first of all a human being and then I'm African. I am African. I cannot run away from the fact that I am African. I share that African ancestry, and courtesy of that, it's part of my identity, and that's the identity that has been damaged. That's the identity that has been raped. That's the identity that has been slaughtered. By who? By other identities within this world. They do not want to see people looking like me and you as intellects, as people who ought to lead. They want us to be looked at as inferior and they want us to feel inferior, while in reality, we are bold, we are meant to conquer, and we got what it takes. And sometimes that's why I love sports. It reminds me, today I was watching on TikTok, I was watching this guy. Why am I forgetting now? There was a boxing match between a young African American and a Mexican American guy. There was a fight. I don't know why I'm forgetting this. And this guy really whipped that guy. And that reminded me of Terence Crawford. Think about Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. You remember that fight? You guys, you have no idea. It's a boxing. I know some of you might not be fans of boxing, but for me, it's people like Terence Crawford. It's people like Coco Gauff that makes me happy when I see them dominating on that tennis court. When I used to see Lewis Hamilton dominate that Formula One, man, I used to feel so good. And again, the fact that he was dominating in a sport, which was being dominated by Caucasians for the longest, and then Lewis Hamilton comes in and does his thing. It has its own race issues, but the fact that he came and dominated, that's what I want to see. Because we have to rewrite our own story. When Coco Gauff won in Australia last year, it doesn't matter what she's undergoing currently in terms of athletic performance in sports, but when she wins, when she goes there and dominates, that's what we are supposed to be celebrating. And when these people are fighting this young lady, we are not supposed to be there fighting with them. We are supposed to be there telling our girl, hey girl, you got all it takes. Do you know she has already achieved what 90% of tennis players, female tennis players, will never, mark my words, actually 95% of tennis players will never achieve. Having a Grand Slam is not a joke, and she got 2 right now, and she's 22, I believe. The fact that she has already achieved that, as a black woman. The fact that she has already achieved that, it's a beautiful thing. Then you come back here home. When it comes to athletics, we have the Kenyan athletes, we have the Ethiopian athletes. When these guys are on those tracks, all we want to see is them succeed. All we want is to see them dominate, like the way we have this masculine, huge masculine man racing in 100 meters. Super strong genes, strong African genes, racing. You guys, when you watch those athletes, when you watch those female athletes, beautiful, strong, fertile women, African women, women of African ancestry. When you see them racing, especially when you're watching them doing that thing in slow motion, you're like, oh man, look at them, look at them, look at the genes, look at the dominant African gene. That's the spirit I want us to have moving forward. We as people of the African ancestry, we as the people with that African gene, let us be Pan-Africans all along. And this reminds me of people like, Louis Farrakhan. He's unapologetically black. Louis Farrakhan. And he's never scared when talking. I haven't heard from him recently. I don't even know about his welfare, apparently. I don't know. But like 3 or 4 years ago, I used to listen to him a lot. And he was making a lot of sense in everything he was saying. Because we're all fighting for an African that is so united. An African, and when I talk about Africans, anytime you hear me talk about Africans, I'm talking all about black people wherever they are, even those who do not want to be called black, because the reality is their identity is black, whether they like it or they don't like it. Their identity is going to be black as always, no matter what. So even as I wind up with this conversation, I want us to think about how we portray ourselves. And it is very important, even when you go out in those countries, if you are a black person outside there, show them that, do you know, I was watching this show in Villard, and he was talking about how sometimes there's always that conflict between African Americans and Africans. Like somebody who was not, if you're born in the United States of America as a black person, that's the only place you know as home. And then we have somebody grew up in Africa like for the first 15 years and then migrates to the United States or any other Western country. There's always that conflict. It seems like there's a conflict because this one has assimilated to the Western culture. That's his or her identity. Now this one is coming to integrate in a new culture. This is a person who comes with new values, new African values, new family values, new business values. And one of the reasons as well, by the way, sometimes the people who travel to the United States or Western world, to Asia and all those countries, the reason they become successful is because while you're here in Africa, sometimes we are forced to work so hard naturally. We don't have that privilege of choosing what to do. You start your day, it's hard work, day in, day out. So once you go to these countries, you realize there are so many opportunities there. Again, some of the jobs that we do, other people might tend to take them for granted. So, and these are jobs that pay. These are jobs that pay so well. So, I would honestly say that the reason as to why sometimes you end up finding people coming from Africa having it easier when they come to those countries is because they don't care about that culture they met there. They come there, they see opportunities every single day, and they are willing to take those opportunities because they're not being distracted by that ego thing. You see, when I'm coming from Africa, I have nothing to do with Gucci. I have nothing to do with Louis Vuitton. I have nothing to do with Dior. I have nothing to do with Chanel. For what? It doesn't bother me. I'm not interested in having a Bugatti, Aston Martin, Ferrari, McLaren, Tesla, etc. I'm not interested in those things. I know the situation I left back home. I need the dignity of my identity to be restored. And the dignity of my identity, for it to be restored, it's not about me having an exotic car. That's a sign of low self-esteem. And which is true, by the way, if you think about it. If to some extent you find you have the urge to flex, the urge to flex means there's a void. You got a void, and the only way you can fill that void is by obtaining something expensive. Sometimes even you end up purchasing something you don't need. And I've had so many people complain, like majority of these like, think about it this way. Think about rappers, for instance. Think about those hip hop artists. Once they start getting the money, the first thing they think about is chains, expensive tattoos, expensive toys, expensive vacations. And that's why when it comes to NBA, once someone is drafted, when it comes to NBA, once a person is drafted for NBA, they are given a financial advisor because they know how money, it's very good. I would love to have money. There's nothing wrong with it. But they also understand that it's very detrimental for that person's growth, either as an individual or as a community member. Because again, a lot of research has been done. And when these NBA players, when they retire, when these boxers, when they retire, they end up becoming poor. Why? Because there's a problem. We are taught that the moment you receive money, you just spend. It comes to control us. And by the way, those are all things that we need to address as people of African descent, because the moment we start understanding where our problem is, the moment we start dealing with our problems, it's not that we don't have opportunities at times. We are so gifted. We are so gifted intellectually, in sports, in everything. We are so gifted. The moment we start realizing and understanding this is where our root cause of the problem is, and then we start dealing with these problems one by one, that's the day we are going to start succeeding. That's the day we are going to start dominating effortlessly, because we can easily dominate the world. We are very unique. We are the most unique race that exists. In any case, all these other races comes from us. Why do you think they fear us? It's not that we are bad people. No. It's because if they are scared that once we get power, have you seen a sober black man when they get power? A sober black woman when she gets power? And I'm using the word sober because we've had so many black empowered women and women who, after obtaining that power, they ended up not supporting our agendas. Instead, they were struggling with those inferiority complex issues. So they wanted to be accepted by the Caucasians instead of them accepting themselves and portraying or creating an image where we all can enumerate. You understand, guys? So we need to be at a point where we are going to teach all other generations that are going to come that this is how to handle black power. Because we've seen a lot of black people, when they get that money, all they think about is flexing. And there's nothing wrong with having those material things. I'm not really against you buying a McLaren, you awarding yourself with a Benz, you awarding yourself with a Porsche Panamera, Porsche 911, Porsche Carrera, whatever Porsche you want to have. I don't have a problem with that. My issue is, make sure by the time you're obtaining that, at least your investments are in place. Because I don't want to hear about Floyd Mayweather being a billionaire and then he's broke because he loves gambling. He knows how to find money, he knows how to get money. This guy has been the face of boxing, no matter what people want to say. He has been the face of boxing. You can't prove me otherwise. This guy promoted boxing. If this guy was Caucasian right now, he would have been 3 times or even 4 times richer than he is right now. And by the way, have you noticed? It's only when a black man succeeds, they try to find fault in him. And that's why we, as people of African ancestry, men and women together, we need to find a way to solve our own issues and our own problems. Because as much as he succeeds, he's imprisoned for, home family disputes. That he, at some point, he beat up his wife. And there was no proof. Look at every great, every big, even the musicians, the MJs, Mike Tyson, he was imprisoned over certain allegations. We have the ability, we can dominate, we will dominate, we have to dominate. This is our thing. This is our thing. But then, as we do that, we also need to create an image where when they see us, they understand and they know this dominance did not just come easy. It's something that we really fought for. We deserve our share in this world. And not just our share, we have to dominate. And guys, I'm going to leave with that. I'm wishing you a very lovely day. Today is 7th February 2026, and I'm glad that we had that candid conversation. So everybody who's watching me, and especially if you're of African descent, because this message is mainly to the people of African descent, I need you to understand that we have a role and responsibility to restore our dignity. Kindly, wherever you are right now, make sure whatever you do, whether it's in dressing, whether it's in speaking, restore the dignity that we have, that we should have as black people. Other than that, if you haven't subscribed and you're really liking my content and really liking how we're handling this, kindly feel free to subscribe, support, share, talk to a friend about me. And let's see where we can go with this. If you still feel there's something I need to do, add, change here and there, kindly subscribe, comment below there, because the comment section is actually meant for that purpose. We can interact there. We can interact there, and I think I need to attach my WhatsApp number. Maybe that's where we can always have conversations and see what we can do. Other than that, you guys, I'm really wishing you a very lovely day in everything you do. If you're sick, may God give you good health. If you're broke, let's work hard. You never know. Other than that, have a lovely day, and I wish you the best.